Hello back. I'm really thrilled to meeting you back on this next episode. I know it has been ages since I dropped the last podcast, so I'm getting right into it, in which I'm going to talk about the effect or the cultural effect on learning a language, which directly take us to what is known as putting down, or people that are putting you down while learning a language. So this criteria, or this dilemma, that should be said. This dilemma is highly raised in a social environment, and especially in the third world social environments, in which people putting themselves and each other down, and not being happy for others' success, or for others achieving what it is really should be achieved. So here I'm really thrilled to talk about this, and I was wondering if I should host somebody to discuss this criteria, but I think I'm gonna just talk about it by myself. So here I'm going to state some of my ideas, some of my beliefs concerning the topic, and moving on, I will discuss some other theoretical, or rather hypocritical ideas concerning this topic. And also moving on, I will conclude what I have found, or I will sum up the findings concerning this topic. So let's get to it. First, putting you down. What does it mean? People that are putting you down. Putting down something is to let it go, or to let something or somebody down, which means to not helping him, or not helping him in a way that he or she was expecting. For example, I would say, you let me down, man, which means you didn't help me. You made an action that was not expected by you from me. So this is what putting you down means. Okay, so let's move on. People that are putting you down in a cultural, or in a social environment, which hiddenly or indirectly tackled by so many people, and we know this, and we know that this is not right, but we still do it. I don't know why should be called, or this is one of the 7 deadly sins in the Christian belief. The 7 deadly sins, and let's say it's pride, or I don't know, but it is one of them. Moving on, people that are putting you down, they are not aware of what you are doing and what you are believing. The fault is yours, because you are the one who letting people putting you down. Don't involve anybody in your life or in your social environments unless you know, or you know him well. You know him enough, because we cannot know people very well. We just know people enough. All right. Don't let anybody in your life that you don't know him or her enough. So this is the first point of this discussion. So if you want to get rid of this phenomena, what you need to do is to sit by yourself, and it's preferably by night. All right, at night, when everything is silent. And I want you to think. You just think about the people that are surrounding you. Start from your surroundings. I mean, from your family. Start by your family. Well, who are your family members that motivate you, that support you in your ideas, that when you make a mistake, they don't laugh at you, they don't misjudge you, they accept you the way you are? I want you to start by that. I want you to infiltrate all these members and I want you to think about them individually. Start with your mother, your father, your brothers, or your siblings, your cousins. All right, start with these people, because the people that hurt you when they are letting you down more are your family members. Because when the family member is cheated on you or tricked you in a way you weren't expecting, so here becomes a problem, and even it can cause you some psychological effects. Alright, so start with your family members. If you find some misguiding or some misleading members, talk to them privately about this. Say this, and I want you to confront them. And once you are confronting somebody about something that you don't like about him or her, then you are going to solve the problem. So I want this first spark. I want this first spark on the candle that illuminates the candle. So I want you to confront him or her and talk to her privately, because don't talk with somebody and somebody is watching you while you are talking about someone, or while you are blaming someone, because they won't like themselves. So please talk privately with the one that you are trying to confront. Talk privately. I'm talking here about anyone. Just talk about him or her privately. Talk with him or with her privately. So here is the first step. The second step, once you infiltrate that one, or the one that causing you problem or psychological problem, I want you to talk with him. I want you to say this first: what is going on in our relationship? That is the point. I want you to sit down and talk and say this first. What is not good, or what is not right about our relationship? If you are siblings, if you are couples, just say that. What is not right about our relationship? Just like that. And you will start a discussion in a deep mood and in a subliminal way of confronting somebody. You will open up his chakras, the psychic effect of people, because you have to say it right away. What is going on in our relationship? Because first, relationships are very, very, very critical. A relationship is a critical and highly dangerous thing, because social relations are very, very complicated, and there is no explanation, no scientific description, nothing, because relationships and emotions are very, very divine. So here is the first point: divinity. Divinity of a relationship can cause a lot of problems. It can make you or make somebody commit suicide. It can make anything. It can make anybody make anything. All right. So this is very dangerous. Criminals. It can switch to anything that is unexpected. You find a lot of criminals and their family members and surroundings say, "Oh my God, I didn't believe that he was a criminal," because he had no intuition, he had no sign or effect of a criminal in him or herself. So here is the first thing: social development. We need social development. We need to socialize, because we are human, and this is what differentiates us from other species. Human beings are social. We work as social, because look at the Egyptians, look at Palestinians, look at all other people around the world. They are interjected, or they are interrelated with each other in a culture. And this is the second point: culture. So social and culture are very important things in our human being, or in our life. So culture. What is culture in a way? What is it? I don't know. What is culture? When you ask somebody what is culture, he may or she may give you a lot of definitions, a lot of conclusions, a lot of things from books, from seminars, from anything. Culture. But what is culture? Simply, culture is what defines a social group. Culture is what defines a social group. Just this simple, short sentence. A culture is what defines a social group and makes it different from one to another. Because we are human beings, we love what is different. We love what is different. So anything that is different from our social environment is good. Look, here is an example. We are the Muslims, or the Arabic social environment. We are somehow following, or we are impressed by the Western lifestyle. So here is the first point. It is different, and the Westerns themselves are impressed by our social environment. They say, oh my God, look at them. They are living in a family group. They are living all together. They are having fun. And we are at the same time, we're saying, oh my God, look at them. They are really, really talkative. They are social. They know how to deal with things. They know how to manage time. So please, we have to think or to take into considerations the different social environment. Don't you ever try to copy another person's lifestyle. Don't you ever try to do that, because you will end up a copy of that somebody that he or she is living in another environment that is not yours. So don't you ever try to copy a version of somebody else, because you don't know him. You don't know him or her. You don't know him, and you don't know him. All right, even if you are following him, for example, you are having an idol, all right, an idol. You are trying to copy him in everything: his style, his talking, his way of talking, his clothing, everything, his cars and everything. But you will not be like him, because you don't have or you don't know what is happening inside that person's psychological criteria, because psychology is what defines us. Psychology is what defines the human being. Psychology is the most critical and the most immense criteria concerning a human being, because psychology is immense, is undefinable. And we cannot deny that. We cannot deny that we have some really bad, or we have some really critical psychological problems. And especially in the 21st century, we have a lot of psychological problems. And even we created, or we gave, we even became able to differentiate between some psychological disease, and we gave them names: insomnia, all right, lack of I don't know, all right. There are a lot of psychological problems that we became aware of them, and we gave them names either, and we are trying to solve them. But we are not doing what should be done in treating or in a treatment of these psychological problems, because the cure is again social environment. If you take a quick round, or if you take a quick revision concerning your life, this is why meditation is very important. And meditation comes in so many forms, so many shapes, and it is different from one culture to another. Muslims have to pray. This is meditation by itself. I don't know, Hindus, they are having yoga. They are meditating in this way. So meditation comes in different and multi-truth and a multiverse or a multi ways of meditation. So here is the third point: meditation. Meditation solves a lot of psychological problems, and there are a lot of research concerning this, but we cannot presume and we cannot conclude on those research, because psychology is not a science. All right, it's not science, and we cannot presume what is happening inside somebody's head. So, to sum all this up, I want to say thank you for listening, and keep thinking about your life before sleeping. Think about what happened that day before going to sleep. And believe me, you will change. Thank you, and catch you in another episode.